set and match. Shut the gate. They're going to do it again. The Kanaka Million goes with and stays with.
Kia ora, good evening. You are here with Boys Get Paid, coming at you live from the Export Beer Garden studio for the final time this season. We have capped it off with a huge Champions Day on Saturday, and the lads are here to recap on it. I'm finally back after 3 weeks off, but gee, boys, I listened to you guys last week, and you were absolutely flying. What a great podcast. Good to see you, Luke.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. I'd had heaps of sleep after coming back from Vegas and was ready to tear into it. And how could you not have a lot of energy with what we got to witness on Saturday there at the Big E? So, yes, I was up and about and ready to rumble.
Absolutely. Good to see you too, Dan. It was a good night there last Thursday night, was it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, it was a little bit loud in the room, but interesting. It didn't really come across in the podcast. So, yeah, thanks to Adam for sorting that out because, there was a bit on in the room, that's for sure.
Producer Adam sorting the lads out. As always, everybody out there, thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you had a fantastic day on Saturday, and if you were at Ellerslie or you're around New Zealand watching and you won some at some point along the day, let us know who your champion from the day was in the comments, because we're going to go through nearly all of the races right now and just have a chat about our favourite things which happened across the day, and obviously some of the results and some of the horses, because shit, that was such a good day of racing. It was just one of the best days that you could wish to see, and I already can't wait for next year as well. Let us know what your best bets are this weekend as well. We're going to run through the Japan Trophy, which is coming out of Tauranga on Saturday afternoon. We'll have some best bets as usual, and I think Ted's even sent us in a few to follow up Pukekohe tomorrow along with your best bet as well. So hopefully everybody enjoys the show. Get in the comments. Let us know who your champion was. But let's get started with the Champions Day punting competition that we had up in the BGP room, which was very, very, very successful. I bloody enjoyed it. It was neck and neck all the way through, Luke.
Yeah, it was very simple. So basically a 3-2-1 type competition, and that kept it a lot different to, I think, doing a punting competition like we did on the Everest Day, where you start with an amount of money and you've got to turn it into the most. So we didn't see our King of the Punt boys at the event on Saturday, did we?
No.
Might have been out on their boat.
That's true. Trip. But I just going through a bit earlier, the goat ended up the last of the BGP crew.
Oh.
And then Taz was slightly ahead of the goat. My partner marked himself as BGP, and then it was me. Very poor performance. And then Matt Daddy, and then the Rack Man.
Good on you, Rack Man.
And then Ted. So Ted took out the BGP honours, and then the Rackman second, and then Matt Daddy third. With the goat and Kevy's nowhere to be seen. But basically, there was a 3-2-1. You picked your top selection for each of the races, and we had 23 points was the winning of the competition, and then 22 points for second. So Buddy Mortgages, didn't use his name, but Mr. Longo, I think it is, he won and was pretty happy. Lachlan Butler runs second, just missed out by a point. And then in third, there were 7 people that had 21 points. Now, we track a fake dollar each way on each of the top selections because we knew that there'd be a bit of a log jam somewhere, first, second, or third. And what I also did throughout the week is go and have a look. Okay, if each of these people took $1 each way on their top selection, how many would have turned a profit for the week? And only for the competition, sorry. So only 22% of people who entered would have made back their $20 and had a profit. So it just shows you on what looked like an okayish day in hindsight, a very, very hard day to make a profit. And as I think Fitzy said, that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the tab make a shit ton of money and can redistribute it back into all three codes and plenty of sports all around the nation to keep funding them all.
Yeah, it's definitely very tough. I mean, you know yourself, when you go there for a full day's racing, you try and put whatever it is, a bob each way on every single race, or you try and Quinella if you're Luke, or you, I don't know, slam a trifecta if you're the Rackman. It's bloody tough work out there, isn't it? But did you come out profitable in terms of dollars anyway, outside it?
No, well, I got carried away once Damask Rose won, and I had to back myself. I had the tuxedo on. I went, right, I got the chips. Champion chips are going on the champion tuxedo, but no, I went home naked.
The thing I loved about it actually was that it came right down to the last race. Obviously, you said how close it is, but I think there was, even just around us in the top six or seven, there was 3 of them on Tardelli. There was a couple on Romilly, who ran a very close second or third, I think, in that last race. And then I forget what the other horse was, but there was about 10 to 15 people that could have won it in that last race, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I think Katie Carter as well, massive shout out to her. Remember, she was sort of up there and on the leaderboard, one of the ladies in the room, and she had TriStar in the last. Dan Carter's sister, I think we were calling her. But,
yeah.
Everyone started getting a nickname by the time we got to race 9 and 10.
I loved it when old Buddy Morgan just came and you said, fuck, mate, what have you been on the bouncy castle or something? He had some short side and some sneakers. It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, what are you going to do with the money? What, maybe buy a suit? Brett Johnson was there as well, Sean Johnson's uncle. He was leading. Poor old Brett was leading the entire way, right, from race 1 to 8 or 9 or something. And yeah, I felt a bit bad for him because I think he ended up finishing in about 10th spot. But it just shows you like how quickly it can turn. And I think as well, were we 4 or 5 races in, and a few of those guys had tipped every winner so far. There's about 3 or 4 of them. They tipped every winner.
Yeah, I knew it was going to go horribly wrong for old mate because he had Midnight Blue in that race. And I was
That's
like,
right.
Fuck, this is where it ends.
He came up and he asked, I kind of did the back half of them sort of joking. Am I all good to change my selections now that I'm leading? I'm like, sit the fuck back. Get out of here.
No, absolutely not. No, I felt for Brett Johnson as well. Him and his mate had been to every event this year, and I was, secretly hoping that he'd get a payday from it. But obviously happy for everybody that got the payday. But he's a legend.
What do you reckon? Like, do you reckon we could try and pull that off for like 600, 700 people that come to Karaka Millions and try and run like a mega spreadsheet?
We'd need a few Tazzes.
Yeah. The trouble is, like with 6 races, it becomes like very likely that you're going to have a tie on a second or a third or whatever. With 10 races, you can start to like weed it out. So the less races, I don't know if it will work with 6 races, but I think it would add an unreal atmosphere to that room. When you're, effectively you're a chance of winning 10 grand or a 5 or maybe even more.
Yeah, we could maybe try and figure out a way to weed them all, because if you've got 600 people, like just the math, 600 people over 6 races. Like statistically, it's likely that a few of those people are going to have all the same runners. So we could maybe try and make it a little bit more complicated, where you've got to maybe pick 2 horses or something, and then that'll like basically halve the chance of, people having the same runners.
Yeah, but leave it.
But you're the accountant, mate. Figure it out.
I feel like the concept of it, though, was outstanding. I mean, it was so easy to do. You just get your horses in and you watch them go around. And you can't really do anything about it once you've made your entry. You just got to enjoy it.
And a massive thank you to ATR, Auckland Thoroughbred Racing. Went to them with the idea, got them to sponsor the prize, and obviously we kicked some cash in as well. And then the TAB put up $2,500 of bonus cash, which Joe was pretty happy about winning.
Yeah.
Allegedly going to put it all on the wires to win the season. I said, that is loose behaviour.
Very loose behaviour.
I said, wait for them to lose the next 2 games then. No.
Oh, I thought he was smarter than that. He left the room with $700 in his back pocket as well. He's a decent punter, that little fella. So
well done.
Don't put it on the Warriors, that's for sure. Jeez.
That interview was electric.
He was so good. What did he say? Thanks to the ladies in the tea room. And
I
just loved him. I thought he was great.
Thanks to the ladies in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, that's it. Yeah. I look forward to seeing him again too. And then, of course, Lachlan Butler and his table were pretty fired up to get the $2,500 cash for second place too.
Lachlan's first time to the races.
Wow.
Yeah. He was texting me on Sunday. I was like, Jesus, mate, I can barely see my screen. Mate, don't worry, we'll sort that. I've got to go to Ellerslie, get my car, get my laptop, and audit the results, make sure everything's above board. But payment will be with you tomorrow. So that's how he started his week on Monday morning with 2.5 rack in the tab account. His bank account.
Shit, I'm sure we'll see him back. I did think at one point the fix was on with Ted McLaughlin and Linda McLaughlin running about 6th or 7th, and I thought, fuck, how's this going to go down if they come first and second?
Yeah. I think Ted got the luck of a sub, and like these things can move, right? Because we saw Shockabella get scratched.
Yeah.
I think as well. By the time I got to the scratching in the morning of Lada Rada, I think 20 people had filled out the form already, and maybe 8 of those had picked Lada Rada. So then they get the substitute. The substitute won that race. The substitute won the race that Shockabella got pulled out of. So I was just praying that it wasn't going to be someone winning with a sub, and we managed to avoid that, which was good.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of, before we just run through some of those races, what do you reckon in terms of an event? How do you reckon the day went overall for Ellerslie and New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing? I mean, all reports came out that it was fantastic. I mean, all I can see on the racing on the track was just the best racing I've ever seen in New Zealand. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess for mine, like what I liked about it is that the racing industry have built something, and we haven't really seen something like that for some time. I've been involved in a few different slot things and different initiatives that have been tried, but that was probably the biggest thing that we've seen be created. And I think, a lot of the economy is doing it very tough, and people can't build things at the moment, and people aren't doing things. And racing's sort of bucking the trend where it's probably got its own mini economy going. And to be there when they announced the concept of the Kiwi at Ellerslie, and then to be there at the race day and see, because I've been to a lot of derbies and a lot of Auckland Cups, and you're down there in the cuvee and you're kind of there with just racing people, and you're on a table and kind of going, fuck, how is no one here? But to look down and see, all these areas full again, there's been some great thinking go into it, and a lot of marketing and a lot of energy, and to build something and to create it and to get people to a venue is very tough. And so, I think they did an amazing job. Everybody involved across the entire industry that was involved in it. So I think they should all be very proud of themselves, and it's cool to see something happening like that in the industry.
I think, I was, really, I felt really proud, to be a part of something like that with so many people there on the day. When I analysed, I thought, okay, well, what was Karaka Millions like 6, 7, 8 years ago? And what was the Everest like the first time that they done it? The Everest wasn't what it is now when they first done it, 6, 8 years, 10 years ago, whenever it was. And then even the same for Karaka Millions as well. It wasn't the same when they first done it. But they've basically taken this thing from scratch and turned it into something that's pretty impressive to have that many people along. And I think because the racing was so good, I think the vibe, the atmosphere was so good as well. The weather was, reasonable through the day. There was a few patchy moments, but it actually really cleared up in the afternoon. I think if people seen that and seen the scenes and everything that are going on, they're probably gonna mark that down and go, you know what, I'm gonna go next year, and watch out. It can only go up from here. And I think in 3 years' time we'll be looking back. They'll be selling everything out. They'll be bringing back the infield. There'll be all sorts happening.
Who's bringing back the infield? I'm keen to.
I think watch out. Like Luke says, to start something from nothing, but to have so much success straight away. I think probably speaks volumes for the team, but also what's going to come over these next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to everybody that was involved with that. I mean, it did such a good job. There's a couple of things which I think back and look at, and I was dead sober for the first time at a race course in a long, long time, so I was actually able to take it all in, which was interesting. I noticed that all the lawn was completely and utterly packed, but there were a few subtle touches throughout the day which I thought were really cool when they helicoptered in the trophy. They've made a big deal out of this trophy, and they helicoptered in and really made a big scene of it. And then the haka before the Kiwi race as well was just something really new and unique. Obviously, it's done across all different sporting codes, but really unique to racing that I'd never seen anything like that at a racing track. Sorry if I've missed it, but I thought that was really, really cool, and just a really nice touch to kind of really make it something New Zealand's own. Aussies have got Sweet Caroline, fucking great. We've got a haka, so come on.
I was just going to say something I did notice on the day is they've upgraded the sound system on the infield that points out towards the stands.
So much better, eh?
Way better. And I really noticed that during the haka as well, because it was it was so loud and clear, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite refreshing. And even just listening, and you can hear the whole race, the commentary, it was nice, because it wasn't like that on Karaka Millions night. So they've obviously they've maybe heard what some people have said. I don't know if you guys have seen any emails or anything, but they've
I'm sure there'll be some people emailing, mate. There's always someone.
Just need the tea and coffee in that BGP room and the projector screen.
Oh, a few more seats, please, next year.
Thanks. I think as well, good to have that Aussie touch coming over, and good to smack their heads in, they can't just come over here, as I said on last week's podcast, and think you can just win our races, and they couldn't again.
Yeah.
So that, for me, I like seeing that, maybe a little bit too patriotic, but I think that they're going to keep coming back in numbers, and I think they'll keep having a crack, and I think there's probably a few of them testing the waters and bringing horses over, but seeing how well they've been supported and seeing what we're putting on as an industry, I do think that you'll see Wallace support it further, and maybe even Byron Baker, Bjorn, and you'll just start to see more of that kind of horse going the other way, where the Aussies go, yeah, well, we've got a horse for the New Zealand Carnival, for the Karaka Millions, for Champions Day, etc. Where it's, normally we're like, right, which of these horses could go to Australia? We might be looking at we've got to keep an eye on this Aussie form for which horses are going to be coming back over here. So yeah, cool to turn the tide and see a lot of that. And I think shout out to Ellerslie in terms of how the track played. There were winners from bloody everywhere. From the back, off the front, up the inside, Damask Rose, which I'm sure we'll get to. But, there was someone that left a comment, like, leading into it, like, oh, wait till the fucking races are banned because of, they cancelled because of the track or whatever. And I think, someone left a comment being like, mate, can you just enjoy the... So, they're constantly having to make sure that they get these things right. And it wasn't that long ago that they were copping it left, right, and centre for not being able to prepare a good enough track and whatnot. So to have a world-leading track like that's starting to be bedded in a bit more, massive asset to the industry.
Bang on, mate. You're 100% right. You only think that this time last year, the track was shut down and they had to do the renovations. And like most of us thought, oh, yeah, whatever, this is just going to be a blip in the radar and next season's going to be great. And we were proven right on Saturday, I think. So, yeah, those people that worry about other people doing their jobs should just calm down and enjoy what they're doing because it was a fantastic day. Let's rip into the racing a little bit, though. Dan, sorry, did you just think us say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just on the Aussie thing that Kimmy's was mentioning, I wouldn't be surprised, like they've come over, got their heads kicked in, gone home with their tails between their leg, which they should, back to Aussie. Full due respect. I love them coming over and want that to be a part of it, but love when we win. I reckon it'd be interesting to see what happens next year, because we've sort of been touted as like, oh, these are like the second string and third string 3-year-olds from Australia. Like, do some of these trainers go and go, fuck this? Like, we're bringing something. Like, we're bringing something serious next year. Like, you watch out, we're coming for you. Be interested to see what unfolds.
Absolutely. Well, let's just rip into it then, because in hindsight, I know, Luke, you had a bet on Damask Rose, but in hindsight, you stack it up and you go, right, Captured by Love won the, was it the 2,000 guineas or the 1,000 guineas? Tiako won the two-year-old classic, the 3-year-old classic. So, of course, they're going to win the Kiwi, and Damask Rose was just absolutely sensational, mate. You can talk us through it because you had a bet on it.
Yeah, I mean, I gave a bit of a decent spruik on the old pod on Thursday, the old 888. You said leave me out of your witchcraft, but I kind of wish I had $888 on it at the 400. But we watched it side by side, and I was kind of like, holy shit, she's a long way back. Fuck, this is not what I kind of thought was going to happen here. But I could tell at the turn, once she started going, I'm like, holy shit. Like, she is just going way faster than the rest of those horses. And, yeah, the unbelievable turn of foot. And there's obviously a big rap for this horse, and to see her do it and defend the Kiwi was pretty cool. And to see Cool Calm and Mr. Chip himself, Mark Walker, just sitting there eating his chips with a bit of tomato sauce, like, yep, another one.
Has he purposely done that? Because that just seems outrageous.
Oh, that is one seriously cool, calm, and collected guy, eh? Like, he either loves those chips or knew she was going to win or has already had his mind into the derby or something. I don't know what was going on.
Fuck, that's amazing. If anyone hasn't seen it, Mark Walker's just chilling out eating a pot of chips while the Kiwi's on, and everyone else is celebrating, and he's just chowing down on his little chips with a bit of sauce on it. Outstanding.
I thought as well, I went back and watched, because I only really had eyes for Damask Rose, and then I watched some replays on Sunday, and the other horse that I thought was really impressive, well, two of them actually, both in the Waikato stud colours, Sought After, was massive after not having a run for some time, and Sathito was probably pretty unlucky. I think Sam Spratt might have been on, and just didn't sort of get the rub of the green. I don't think they would have, Sought After wouldn't have won. Sathito, I don't think, would have got close to Damask Rose, but I think it would have finished a lot closer than what it did.
Yeah, the only other one apart from the ones that you've just mentioned, I thought Ardalio was pretty good as well, sitting 3 wide. The trip, I thought she fought on quite bravely, and that's all come pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to seeing how that horse progresses. Checkmate was great as well. Like, one point I thought he loomed to be the winner, but yeah, just didn't maybe quite have that sharp sprint that he had, a few starts ago.
Yeah, I got $4.20 for Checkmate a place. I can't believe, it opened up at $8 and ended up starting at $19. I couldn't believe what was going on there, eh? I have no idea why it drifted out so much. I mean, that was been going really
I was being way too much of a sicko by that time of the day. Like, I was not interested in a place punt.
No, fair enough.
I was hammering the 19s.
Sorry. It was an each way, but yeah, the odds for it were bloody good for a place. But yeah, well done to Tiako. That's one hell of an effort because, Damask Rose has just come out and done the job this year, and it kind of seems fitting that Tiako take out the first Kiwi in the history.
Yeah, just on Tiako as well, it's interesting how it goes in ebbs and flows because not the Karaka Million's just gone, but the year before when Velocious won and then Orchestral won, it was like the first time in like 6 years that they sort of hadn't like had almost a clean sweep at Karaka Millions, and it sort of felt was like, oh wow, have the tides turned a little bit, and then come back this year, bang bang, Lada Rada, and then Damas Rose wins Karaka Millions, wins the Kiwi. Like it's like, oh wow, yeah, they never went anywhere. They had a patch.
And Return to Conquer takes out the Sistema as well.
Yeah, with a cult, which I think they paid good money for. So to get a Group 1 win for a cult like that, yeah, geez, they you can never write them off. You can never write them off, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. The New Zealand Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes. So the TAB, Dan, you knew that this was coming in some way, shape or another, gave us $4 for Legato, up to a bet of $20. So it wasn't all that generous, but they knew something.
That's really funny because I did. They said, "Oh, like just can you guys try and swerve Legato as your boosted runner?" And I think my response was like, "Oh, that's all good, mate. You guys will make plenty of money off that, so we're not interested."
Yeah, good. What was it paying $1.60 at that time or something? And then they gave us $4.
Yeah.
Crazy. Up to $20. Just having a look in the comp, 67% of people had Legato on top, and she runs third.
Apparently, there was an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
she
too.
fibulated.
Yeah, but then that not right, and that maybe like slight temperature or something.
Right.
So who knows? Hopefully the horse is sound, but yeah, shit.
I've never seen Marshy so emotional. I think with Velocious last year he was quite emotional, but on Saturday after that one he was I don't know whether he was tearing up or maybe it was Al Vencedor, I don't know, but with Province winning that race, he was fired up and very emotional about it. So good on Marshy as well for getting 2 Group 1s on the day too. That's outstanding.
I think he's just tearing up like in happiness at how much money he's making.
Yeah, back to Vegas, you reckon?
Yeah, 3 winners as well throughout the day. Like I'm like, I was yelling out. You remember that NRL song? Like, that's my team. I'm like, that's my trainer. Kia Marshy. I'm like, hey mate, fucking get mine beyond the trials would be good, mate. Let's go. Giving a bit of a carry, but he did actually tip me into one. Which before I forget, it's racing tomorrow. Now there's a group of lads that I know from uni, and they all work on the super yachts around the world. And they reached out. Feels like an age ago now, and they're like, I want to get the boys together and we want to buy a horse. Like, what's the process? And kind of got them in the right direction. I'm like, I'm not picking no horse for you or anything, but here's what you need to do. Anyway, they buy this horse, and it's racing on tomorrow at Tauranga. Now, I think it is. Is
it a 2-year-old?
Pukekohe. I don't know.
Cash LeBay or something?
No, but I think someone might have tipped us that too. But it's called Dubai Rocket, and it's fun.
Ted loves it.
Jeepers, it's 3.6 into 2.5. We might have missed the price, but anyway, I remember Marshy saying before I had my third chicken Haiketsu can of refreshment on Saturday, this horse can gallop. So yeah, good luck to all of those boys that'll be screaming that horse home on Saturday. But yeah, sounds like the bookies might get a nosebleed if that one gets home. It is a 3-year-old bay gelding, 3.6 into 2.5 in race number 2. However, I was tipped this morning the Boss Girls. Apparently, there's a bit of spruik around the Boss Girls.
Quinella then for you, mate.
There we go. Paid 20s.
Absolutely perfect for you.
But anyway, sorry, back to Marshy. Yeah, won 3 races. What a guy.
Yeah.
Can train him. And very, very good with the winner of Provence there. Such a hard horse for us to follow. Like, we've liked this horse. We've talked about it throughout the season. We've been on. And then we're getting beat. And it's like, oh, okay. And then you almost watch that on Saturday. And you're like, oh, wow. You were never getting 30s if Legato wasn't in the race. But you kind of need Legato to bomb and it to win. And shit, I bet those owners got paid, which I believe there are hundreds of them. So well done to Brent Cooper and the Social Racing LZ Winners Circle Syndicate.
There were quite a lot of forgotten horses in that race too, of course, because Jaffe, one of our favourites, ran second and we just got off it at the wrong time. And Aquarello was in there, Dan, that I see you've retired it, mate. That's...
Yeah,
horse is retired.
Oh, yeah, well, that's how I can do that to a horse, apparently.
I don't want Rackman betting on me.
I was... I was telling anyone that would listen that I thought Legato would get beat. You just need to figure out which one would beat it. I thought Aquarello was a great top 4 bet, and actually it loomed up at about the 200, and I thought, shit, it might win. But it just sort of peaked on its run, whether there was some sort of issue or whatever. It just didn't see out the 1600 properly. So that was a little bit... it wasn't that far off them. It was only like a length and a half, I think, off first, so it wasn't that far off him. But gee whiz, Jaffe was huge as well. And I was thinking, oh, well, like, if I think what horse is going to have a massive season next season, I reckon like she's only come onto the scene this season. I reckon next season she's going to win Group 1s.
She's definitely a very, very good horse. She finally got a good barrier draw and showed it. So, I'll definitely be following next season. And, Luke, you can probably chat about this one. We have spoken about Marshy a little bit. But the battle between Al Vencedor and La Creek, mate, who, you were a brave man calling it out last week and you nearly got it done.
Oh, yeah. And Al Vencedor went straight past La Creek. I'm like, okay, rookie mistake. And then she fought back. I'm like, holy shit. But you have to almost feel for those connections a little bit, where this thing just keeps finding one better in the old Group 1s. But Al Vencedor, what a story this has been. I believe something like the only horse in history that's won 3 Group 1s over 3 race meets or something like that. Not 3 race meets, but like over certain days. I can't remember what the exact stat is, but a very, very good horse. And that battle down the straight, and they were just too good for the rest of them, right? Which was, that was something to watch for sure. And the connections of Al Vencedor will be very, very happy. What a ride it's taken them on. I couldn't help but have flashbacks to the 2022 Cup Week Punters Club, where we lobbed, I think, about 75,000 on Al Vencedor and down the track. But hasn't that horse come on?
It's going to be very exciting to see this horse go over to Hong Kong. It also won an extra $300,000 for like the Middle Distance Series.
There's like a bonus you're right, Marshy. That's why you're so happy. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so there was an extra $300,000 for that. I think Crocetti won the Sprinters series, but like, imagine that. So because that was $1 million race, wasn't it?
So it was.
$500,000 plus another $300,000, so $800,000 in the bin. Like, of course you'd be absolutely flying. That's an $80,000 paycheck for Marshy. He's
must be nice. Oh, he'll be shouting another beer for the boys at some stage. Yeah, Marshy.
Kelly Alfarasha was also really good, and fuck, it sounds like Orchestral had just wasn't really at the races. Flopped out of the gates, and the race was over there. That was a real shame. I thought Orchestral was going to really fight out that race.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? Which was, tough.
4-year-old, maybe it's the 4-year-old syndrome that some of them get. And this day was just so amazing because you go, like, remember we sat down for the Derby, and I think I turned to you guys and said, fuck it. How do we still have another Group 1?
Oh, yeah.
it's the Derby, too, which is like, it's traditionally been the second or third biggest race in the season. And honestly, I watched the replay of Will He Do It on Sunday. I think you guys have seen it as well. Like, man, Orchestral was good last year, but that was, and Sharp and Smart was very good the year before, too. But the work that Will He Do It did to win and then just kick away and win by lengths, still running really strongly, was seriously, that's a good horse.
Yeah, they're obviously pretty confident about it and knew that the horse could stay, and there was a fair bit of spruik for the horse. We were at Ellerslie when it won on the Twilight, weren't we?
Yes, came out of the pack and smoked them, eh?
Yeah, and Ted, I think, said then, like, get on now for the Derby or whatever, and I think he tipped it pretty early on. I think there'd be a few people cashing some futures bets on Will He Do It, but I was on a different planet in the Derby, so unfortunately that wasn't me, but... Yeah, I mean, I was cracking into Tuxedo. I thought, all right, we're going to have a battle down the straight here. Not to be. But yeah, that was a very, very impressive win for Will He Do It, and repaid the believers. 3.7, I think, closed up favourite on the tote, I believe, as well. So, yeah, those sharp punters knew what they were doing.
I'd love to know how many people followed you into that Tuxedo bet. I did. I thought it was a great bet, top 2. And I think 99% of people were probably on it, eh?
Yeah, there was about $60,000, I think, or
right.
60 grand maybe, on the Tuxedo bet. Yeah, there was
Let's have a look.
Bit of my 10.
Holy
on there
shit!
as well.
Yeah, it actually started equal favourite, $3.70, $3.70. Will He Do It and Tuxedo.
I mean, everybody also got off Will He Do It. Even Ted before at the start of the race, I think he had Oceana Dream, which finished nearly last. Like it was so hard to know what was going to happen after that Avondale Guineas, eh? But yeah, obviously showed its class.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and like obviously it's always easy in hindsight, but like it was $1.90 to win the Derby before that Avondale Cup, the Avondale Guineas.
Yeah,
and that Avondale Guineas, that whole day, you could pretty much just write off that whole day, with all the all the races and everything that went on.
It was really slow. Like it was the slowest run, one of the slowest run Avondale Cups ever, wasn't it? Or something? And by like 6 seconds. Kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you go back and look at it again, like he was still running on okay.
Yeah.
But to go from $1.90 shot to like a $4 shot, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that this thing's not going to win now, and yeah, they just brave ride. just sat 3 wide, went around them, and then just kicked their heads and really, really did.
Yeah. Dom Pedro was also finishing off huge behind there as well. Came out of bloody from down Central Districts, mate. One of your horses.
Love the CD. Up the CD.
Hopefully Dom Pedro keeps going like that because there'll be some wins from that horse. Luke, your favourite race of the day, well, your favourite win of the day was the Auckland Cup, mate. Trav, I understand.
What a win that was, hey? How about those bloody Australians getting beaten up as well? Outstanding. Trav, we were on the radio that day watching the Wellington Cup, and I backed it to place that day. It runs 4th. Anyway, what a huge run. And I felt like I had a bet on. So when it won, I was like, okay, awesome. Like, this is not my biggest bet, but I've got a saver on. And I'm going through the account being like, fuck is going on here? No, I do not have any Trav. But massive run from that to Giannis as well. I think they'd be a little bit gutted, the Go Racing team, that they didn't get the cash there. But I just thought it was pretty cool that a horse like Trav kind of flew under the radar, comes out, wins paying 21s. It was massive. We were standing maybe like 100 from the finish line, and you could just see it from where we were standing, like coming into the race and just booming down the outside. I think we spotted it before George Simon does in the call. We're like, holy shit, look at this horse.
Yeah.
It's like a train is coming. And then, I didn't even really see Tijanus, like how close it was. And I think I went downstairs and came back, and you might have said, oh, there's an inquiry. Like, I'm like, what? I'm like, well, into what? And I'm like, holy shit. I didn't even realize that it was like only just beat it.
Yeah, it was close to the end. Was Tijanus unlucky or something? Like, what?
Oh, I don't know exactly what happened. I think maybe it looked like maybe Trav had come in a little bit at the end there, but not enough to make the difference. Because I seen there was an inquiry, and then I think I messaged maybe the tab or something and said, "Oh, how much are you paying out if this thing actually gets up?" And they go, "Oh, sorry, inquiry's been dismissed." I was like, "All right, oh, whatever."
Yeah, because Ted had it as his champion of the day, didn't he? So what were we taking? Like $4.60, maybe $4.50?
Yeah, something like that. They're going to have to pay out 120 grand or something.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like shit. It was a massive finish. So it was definitely a horse to follow. But yeah, well done to Trav. That was really, really cool to see. Another great edition of the Auckland Cup, and one that was great. Just to round it out before we move on and to get some comments and hear some other people's champion of the day. One that I loved but really hurt was Alabama Lass, and I know when Alabama Lass smashed them by 5 lengths, Ted, Luke, and the goat, you could just see them all merge on each other and go, "Fuck! What the hell's like, what's going on here?" Because what did we lose on it? 320 grand or something, and that. Karaka Malays.
I was working with my psychologist today, working through that still.
That's what you expected to see on Karaka Malays night.
Yeah, well, you think so, but obviously we got a little bit of the rain. Maybe that's not it. Maybe wasn't ready to go first up. Who knows? But just absolutely put them away. Yeah, put them away. Anyway, we turn the page. I tell you
what were you going to say to Luke when we were walking up the stairs? You're like, "Oh, should I say this to him?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't think I'd say it today." You're like, "Oh, I'll say it for the podcast."
No, it was funny. It'll come to me. It was funny.
It was, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, maybe not today."
No, I think it was just something like, "Don't you wish you had a punters club today?" or something like that. I think it's just
get out.
Wasn't that bad? I thought. But I think what I said was that you would be cleaning up if you had a punters club today. I think that's what I said.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you who I did like, and that was Tadelli in the last race.
Oh,
we have
shit,
to
Tadelli was good.
because we might not even get to that. But I think you tipped it at 250 or 240 to run top 3, right?
For a place, yeah.
I think it went round paying $2 to win in the end. The amount of money that came for it. Tijanus as well. That went round $2.20.
Did it?
$2.20 over 3,200 meters. $2 shot in a cup race. Like, seriously, the amount of money that must have been getting piled into these runners.
Yeah.
So good shopping there, and the GOAT had his bet of the day, Amend.
Yes.
At New Plymouth in race 1, which did exactly what he said it would do. Get to the front, extend the lead. They won't be able to catch it. Too slick. I think it paid 4.6 in the end. So there was a bit of noise and a bit of confidence going into a big day. But bookend it with the GOAT and Matt Daddy. So well done to you two lads.
Yeah, that was a nice way to finish off the day, and of course the GOAT kicked it off well. Adam, mate, what do we got in the comments at the moment?
So champions of the Champions Day, Bruce's champion was Sam Spratt, which I feel like is fair enough.
Oh, yeah?
Carl also saw what you saw there, Luke, and his champion was Mark Walker eating chips at the Kiwi. What a legend. Tony's is Will I Do It was his champion of the day. And as we get down here, I have to kind of filter a couple of these as I get down to the bottom. Thomas was loving Damask Rose, as I reckon a few others were. And there's 2 at the end here for Francie.
Oh, race 1.
Yes.
That hurt, didn't it?
Oh, that sucked. I actually shit, a really nice lad from Wellington came up to me just before the start of race 1. He said, "Oh, fuck, you'll be on Francie here, won't you?" And I said, "What? No, what? No." And he's like, "Oh, what? Yeah, I am." I didn't even realise it was in the race. I was like, fuck, like, damn it, I was just on 6 and I mow it. And Francie, we've all had a bet on it this season. And then again, you forget about it. Fucking
Yeah,
wins.
sort of one of the, even like Island Life winning as well. We got off that and we were into Eye Candy.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I know you don't want to bring it back to Alabama last, but Rackman didn't get a word in there. I reckon you see, who was it in the BCD group sprint? He had a shock beat Crocetti and the rest by about 3 or 4 lengths. Alabama last beat them by easier than that. Like,
Yeah, I think one of the big things there is the weight swing is
true,
huge.
yeah.
I'm not sure, but it's probably pretty similar in like a weight for age anyway, wouldn't it be? Because it's a 3-year-old filly, should probably carry quite lightweight anyway.
Yeah.
And Crocetti would be 59 in a race like that anyway. So, yeah, very interesting. Be interesting to see what they do with her now. Like, do they take her to Australia and have a crack? It sounds like they might be looking at having a crack at maybe going down the straight at Flemington. So I'd be interested to see how she goes. Is it the Newmarket maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think she might be having a crack at that. And there is a few whispers going around that Crocetti might be going westward to take
New
on...
Plymouth.
Yeah,
Wow.
to race in New Plymouth.
what do we got down there?
Western Australia.
It's
Oh.
the road to the Jericho down there, isn't it?
Surely.
Great race.
The
No,
Quokka.
So the Quokka, I think, basically the winner of the sprinting series, I think, was going to get first right of refusal for the trackside slot in the
Yeah.
Quokka. So I guess, if the horse is going all right, it's maybe they might be looking at taking it over there. I don't know whether that's actually going to happen or not. They've got plenty of options, right? They've got Sydney, Melbourne as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Crocetti.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be cool to see either way. Hopefully Daniel Narclay goes over there and cleans up. If he does, I'm sure he will. And yeah, the sprint races this season have been so interesting because there's been so many different winners. Bloody hard to pick a winner out of them all, but shit, there's been horses coming left, right, and centre to win those sprint races, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Before we move on to the next thing, I just wanted to mention, because I forgot about this last week as well, but it sounds like Snazzy Tavi, BGP's favourite horse, may no longer race again. I don't think that's 100% official yet, but that was the word that I got, that it's not going to race again, and hopefully she can survive and be a very, very good broodmare.
I can't deal with that right now.
Did you shed a tear when you hear this news?
I actually listened to like slow, sad music on the way home.
Drive home.
After I'd heard that. I was like, thinking about the memories, like just Tarapa over 1600 when I had it as my best bet. I think we had it blessed bet as well.
Oh.
Kicked their heads in,
tell
come
you
out
quick-
over 2000, bang.
I'll tell you a quick story. So Taz makes me, for Christmas each year, makes me a calendar with some of my favourite horses on there. And every month I turn it over, I'm like, fuck, please don't retire this horse.
Oh, no.
February, Snazzy Tavi.
Oh, no.
Never make me this calendar again.
No. Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh, it's tough. She's like, I got to stop making you that. I'm scared to see what's in
March.
Well, I know what's in March.
Oh, no.
I don't want to tell you guys.
Oh, no.
I don't even know if I want to turn it over anymore.
It's not Aquarello, is it?
Every other Rackman's calendar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
It's
is
tough to take.
Yeah, it is tough to take.
Yeah.
I really thought if it's true, yeah, Snazzy Taffy was going to go over to Australia and win some very good races.
Yeah, thoughts to the connections of Snazzy Tavi, should that be the outcome as well, but I'm sure there'll be news to come at that. Just back to the punt very quickly.
Yeah.
Alvin's, it all started at $1.40.
I know, I saw it. It's nuts, eh?
Like, no wonder the dollar each way on the selections of the people in the comp couldn't break even,
Yeah.
because they've just got like serious tote unders with how much money was in the world pool, I assume, and just getting planted on these bloody horses. But some of these things have gone around $1.40, $1.70, $2.20, $2.20. It's just crazy. Even Damask Rose ended up backed in from 8s when we talked about it to $5.20. Evaporate was $2.40. That's a power of money to build a market, to have a $2.40 shot in a race like that, and then a $5.20 shot, and they run 1-2. So the market was spot on. I'd love to know what ended up in that pool, but you're then out to basically like $8 shots, 14s, 16s, and whatnot. So the market was a very, very good guide of what was going to end up happening in the Kiwi.
Bloody interesting, eh?
I was going to say, I wonder that our Vencedor, like being the world pool and obviously being a horse maybe that the Hong Kong Jockey Club know of now because it's coming over there, confirmed to come to, I wonder if that was sort of like maybe what drove like, some of that world pool on the tote money to just get crunched in as well. So, we know this horse that's coming over here.
Is it still, so are they selling it or is it just going racing under...
Invited for a race, I think.
Oh, okay, so just for a race.
So,
okay, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One mention I've just been wondering about as well, before we get to the Japan Trophy, get your best bet comments coming in as well. Wexford, what they've done this season has been remarkable, and they've had such a great season. I'm sure they'll be absolutely thrilled with it. I thought they were going to win over Karaka Millions Night and Champions Night and Champions Day. I thought they were going to win a few more races, but I was sort of thinking about it and thinking, they've taken such a massive leap with all of these horses this year that have come out that maybe next year or the year after that might be their year on nights like this, because they were all right there or thereabouts, eh?
Yeah, I'd say it would have been a very quiet car ride home for the O'Sullivan, Scott, Fano, and no shade on them, but I do think they probably would have gone in on to the day with a fair bit of confidence, and you build yourself up just like we do as punters going into Karaka Millions and things like that, and you just get racing just goes bang and smacks you between the eyes, and you got another trainer's winning 3 races, and you got Tiakau winning Group 1 and a Kiwi and stuff, and it's just like, oh, okay, that all seems so normal after a race day. So yeah, I'd say they'd be very disappointed and almost feeling for them a little bit that they can't quite get it working. But I've seen them win derbies in the past and whatnot, and they've had plenty of success, and I just know how competitive they are. And I would say that would have frustrated them, as it would for all of us if we were taking horses of that quality to the races. And even, shout out to Ted, for instance. He wakes up Saturday morning and Lada Rada's got a temperature and she's scratched out of a Group 1 race. And, you look at it and go, well, could she have bet that lot? Like, maybe. But now you just don't know. Like, now, how does she win a Group 1 as a 2-year-old? Does she go to the sires and get it? But racing, it's a cruel game, but I think that's what attracts us all to it, is that it looks so easy to predict what's going to happen, but realistically, like a lot of people go home at the end of a day and their horse hasn't won, and that's punters, owners, trainers, etc. And there can only be, like 10 winners of all those horses that are going around on that day. So they'll be back, and I'm sure they'll probably try and make up for this weekend.
Yeah, if you take out like the big 3-year-old races out of the equation, and you look at Wexford's body of work for 3-year-olds that they rolled out this year and the amount of winners, like I reckon they had more 3-year-old winners than any other stable this year. Yeah. If they follow that same pattern, they do that again next year. Like, surely one's going to put its hand up and be the one that wins these big races, because they were outstanding. Just through from Ted, he said Alabama's Lass is going to Flemington for the Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool Sprint Classic, 1,100 metres on the 9th of March.
Fantastic.
500K.
What was that like?
1,100 metres, that is. Yeah, Jesus.
Go and get it, hopefully.
Keeping up with her.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Japan Trophy this Saturday, because there is some racing. It's definitely a slight come down from Champions Day, that's for sure. But we do have one race which looks very good, which is the Japan Trophy Tauranga on Saturday afternoon. Race number 7. And old Waitak, speaking of Wexford, is going around again as the favourite. Your mate here, Herbert the Sherbet, Luke, and Dan's mate, Aegon, at 55 kgs. Who wants to chat about it first?
You go, Dan. Good luck.
This is this is an absolute minefield. Originally I actually thought about going, I think I could find a best bet in here, and I seen Wild Knight is just such a second up specialist, but he went so poorly, so I flicked a message to the team at Tiakau. And
did you do that on Sunday? Oh, hey lads, what's
no, it was on Wednesday, because I was like, I need to find a best bet. And apparently he's been working well, and he trialled pretty well the other day as well, but it's sort of like a bit of take on confidence, not like really that they're confident that he's back where he was. So I thought, maybe I'll swerve that. But yeah, still it's drifting 950s out to the 11. So maybe that sort of tells you all you need to know about the confidence around the stables. I can't ignore has to be a winner at $19 and $5. 2 starts ago, second behind our Vencedor was like maybe 4 or 5 lengths, or was it even that much, or was it 3 lengths maybe? But it was, it was a distant distance back to third as well. So I probably can't let that go around at the price as well. Decent barrier draw. So I'll probably have a little bit of each way bet on that. And actually, like, Herbert has been just going so well the last 3 starts. That's another one I probably just can't let go around without having a bet on, because if it just comes out and wins again, I'll be like, well, how did I not, what am I doing to myself by not at least having a little bit each way on it?
The amount of times I've heard Herbert the Sherbet this season, surely it's worth a bet, eh?
Hasn't shouted me any Sherbet. Yeah, I can't catch this bloody horse. I think I must have jinxed it the day I made it best bet. I think it's won 3 since. Seriously. Like, what the hell? I think we even might have had a go at it down there at Cup Week as well.
Yeah,
so,
we did.
Yeah, that horse is just laughing at us. That's right. The Entertainer won that race, didn't it? It's just,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good to see Harry Grace. He's won 2 on it. Comes back from the Melbourne Storm to ride the horse. I didn't mind, like, one more chance, a horse like Navigator. Been a little bit unlucky in the last couple of starts and racing against some pretty quality animals. Runs third to Grail Seeker, right? In the Group 1, that's over 1,200 metres. Gets back to a good track, behind Here to Shock, but wide throughout. Held up last start behind the Sherbet Maker, but it was $6.30, money on. But now up to the mile, barrier 13, a little bit ugly, but very safe in the market, 7s. I've just had a little look at that, and I think it could win the race. The other horse that I've been disappointed with, but gets back to Tauranga, is Uderzo. Now, this is very disappointing last start. I think we might have watched it together, and we're like, are you serious? Like, is that how we're going to start our Vegas trip? But yeah, good. I'm assuming we're going to get a good track at Tauranga on Saturday, from what I was...
Looks like it's sunny, yeah.
From what I was
2 from 2 at the track, you're right.
Yeah, when I was Jim Hickey the other day, it looked like a good track. But yeah, 26s, I had something to place on that, $6.50. Multied into the last race with our mate Monday Melody. That should be winning. So I think you can get your O'Sullivan Scott double in those last 2 races and have an absolute fill up at about $10 odds. Oh, sorry, $20 odds.
Beautiful, mate. One of the lads has the best bet in this race as well, and we've blessed it top 4, which I feel like is a very good bet, so we will get to that. I was with you on Navigator, mate. It was totally blocked in the straight last start at Mudda behind Herbert the Sherbet. Didn't even get a run at them. Then it was 3 wide in the BCD sprint and third. All the things that you've just said. I can't really go past it at the moment, to be honest. 4th up should be fighting fit, particularly after the last start where it hardly even ran. So, Navigator looks like a pretty good bet to me. And I do hate to say it, but if Aegon doesn't win this race carrying 55 kgs from barrier 5 in a Group 2, well, it's literally just, not that I've ever bet on it for a long time, but it's wouldn't be betting on it again. You guys got nothing to say. Fuck. All right.
I gave it another chance last night.
Did you?
I just can't. And it'll probably come out and win this time, and I won't catch it, and then that'll be it. I'll close my account and I'll be done.
Make $2.20 a place.
Ring 111. One of you. We need an ambulance. You're both unwell.
All right. Have we got any best bets coming through there, Adam, or should we just keep kicking along? All right. Anything else you lads like before we get to the best bets? Anything else this weekend?
Yeah, there was one that I've just put in there, which I was actually going to make my best bet, but the markets hadn't come out in time the other day. It's Gold Coast race number 3, a horse called Adalea.
This is Saturday night, eh?
Yeah.
Right.
Adalia or Adalea
is the
or
track
something like that.
track dry?
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah. But it opened at 15s, went into 9s like immediately.
Oh.
And this thing came from last start. I just remember, put it in my black book, and it stormed up the inside and got within sort of like a length, half a length of the winner. Looked very impressive, but it was $9 and $2.80 when I put this in the sheet from 15s. I'm not 100% sure what it's paying now, but I reckon that horse is worth a little bit of an each-way bet because I think it's going to find a win in its next start or 2.
It's Adiella Race 3, Gold Coast. What about Berkshire Breeze, mate? Just missed out on that, finishing top 3 there on Saturday. That was disappointing.
Yeah.
That was a good shout from you. Luke, is there anything else you like on the weekend, mate?
Very lean week. I thought Monday Melody was probably a bet in the last race. Pretty short, though, so hard to get excited about. But couldn't steer you into too much outside of those 2.
Nice, mate. I like Monday Melody at Tauranga as well. Tomorrow at Pukekohe, race 5, our time is going around at only $2.70, and it's drawn pretty average again. But that finish at Ellerslie last start, when it was my best bet, I just thought, shit, you've got to bet on that next start. So we'll be having a go at $2.70. And then a little bit rough, but there's a horse in Whanganui race 1. I think it's a 2-year-old race, and there's a Te Ako debutante in this. But our sniper is paying $10. It was 3 wide the trip last start, 2 lengths behind He Who Dares. Was held up for a bit of that race in the straight. He Who Dares went and ran 5th in the Sistema on the weekend. Cash the Bay's in that race too, but I don't think it's got a rider. I just thought $10 might be worth a crack for our sniper in race 1 at Whanganui.
Get on.
Had a look around and saw nothing in Australia as well. So why don't we crack into the best bets? Let's start with the harness. Lads, Dan, do you want to do the harness hit, mate? And it's Markham's this week, isn't it?
Yeah, Markham's. He got us the harness hit last week, so we had a winner. And the harness hit's actually, like over the last 4 or 5 weeks, has been going very, very well, very profitable. So we'll stick to it. I think we went 3 in a row. Then we missed one, then we got another one after that. So we're like 4 from 5. So very impressive. Markham's gone to Addington, race number 7, a horse called Thor, and he's going to hammer the bookies here. Green has a St. Paddy's Day biscuit last time out, but really flattened out late and charged through the line to run second to Captain Commodore. Beat the race favourite Ahoka Cobra on that occasion and can do it again with Blair Nathan Orange in the bike. $3.50 Thor, boosted out to $4.50 for the harness hit this week.
Nice, mate. You got a little nod from Luke there about the little Thor.
Like it.
That was fantastic.
Like it.
What's the scam man got, Luke?
He's going to Addington, meeting 8, race number 3, Seaside Rosé. $4.60 and $1.50 was absolutely massive last start, sitting park the trip and winning impressively. Would only need to go as well in this to give it a good shake and shout you a fresh bottle of rosé.
Rosé all day, baby.
Beautiful. Righto, Fitzy, Alexander Park, race 7, Arafura, talented filly. Look, she probably can't beat beside me, who looks an absolute superstar. But the price for her top 3 or 4 is sensational. Rackman, what is the price of top 3 for?
I think it was top 3 was like $2.60 or $2.80, and probably not a huge field, and got a very good barrier draw as well. Arafura.
Okay.
Gasso's best bet is just Foxing. He's just Foxing as well. Race number 12, $9 and $2.70. It won't be paying that tomorrow. I can give you that for free because everything he tips out seems to go from whatever $9, $10 into $3. So get on early if you want a piece of that. His last 2 runs have been excellent against similar opposition. Looks to be a tough horse that can do it. Can do a bit of work in its races. Ready to strike, and what I see is overs.
Given it's the last podcast of the season, I think it's probably important to say what you mentioned to me this morning, Rackman, around the ROIs, that obviously it was a pretty tough start to the season for the harness lads, and but Gasso and Scamman in particular have turned it around. Yeah.
Well, the GOAT's on top with 37.46 units of profit on turnover. Scanman 21.69 and Gasso 19.8. So 2 very, very profitable harness tipsters.
Yeah, absolutely. The GOAT reminded me of that on Saturday, actually. He said, you'll have to find a 60-1 winner to beat me, mate. I was like, fuck, right, you got one?
Loves it. Better order that spreadsheet, Goat.
Yeah, we need Taz to have a little run through it.
Yeah, we have a look.
Oh, fantastic. All right.
You got a harness best bet?
No.
Are we talking about what? Oh, we'll get to that at the end. Yep.
All right.
Speaking of the harness, we didn't talk about the...
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, yeah. Dad, mate, you're tomorrow, so you go your best bet.
Yeah, I'm going to race number 10 at Pukekohe. Who rocks the house? And hopefully this horse rocks the house and rocks the bookies and shakes them all up. This filly has been knocking on the door its last 2 starts over the 1600. Last start, I thought it was very unlucky. The money has come early. Craig, pay the bills, grills, jumps on board. Good each way play. I think it was $7.50 and maybe $2.60. Opened at $9 into $7.50. It's probably shortened up a little bit more, but hopefully Who Rocks the House can rock my house tomorrow night and give me some cash.
I think that's a fantastic bet, mate. I absolutely love it. Mine looks like it's next Tauranga Race 2 Flash Effect. This is a 3-year-old Cambridge stud, Lance Noble, Warren Kennedy, in Race 2 at Tauranga on Saturday morning. First up, last start, was held up early in the straight, finished strongly behind Midnight Edition and I'm All In, who have got some good form around some of our best 3-year-olds this season. Back in October when it was running, it was only 2 lengths off Kitty Flash and Kiwi Skyhawk, and beat Sought After, who Luke mentioned earlier, and this running good 5th or 6th in the Kiwis. So that stacks up for me. It's a bonus back race. I think it's from $3.40 into $3.10, but Yeah, I think it's worth a bet.
I'll be into race number 3 straight off of the back of Matt Daddy's winning on Sorgatani. Now, I don't think it's a pastor. I think it's actually Genghis Khan's daughter-in-law. True story.
Who is that?
Well, you have to do some research this weekend. But anyway, don't worry about that. Just watch this horse, clean them up. This horse was very disappointing last start. That's why I've made it best bet. But the Stewards report doesn't have too much to show. But it had been going pretty well before that. So it's good at the 1,400 metres. It's going to be fine on a good track. We just have to beat You Say, Dior Say. And I think we'll grab that right on the line, as most of the horses normally do for You Say, Dior Say. And we'll get $10 odds with Kelly Myers in the saddle.
How good. Well, we know Genghis Khan slayed some people, so hopefully his daughter-in-law can slay the bookies. Where are we going? Goat's best bet. Wanganui race number 4, Dubai's Portiki. He's burnt punters on a number of occasions recently, but expect a better showing on Saturday with a gear change. Sectionals were strong last start, and the extra 200 will suit. Trained nicely during the week. $15 final field, or you get $18 on the odds surge. Have a go.
Fantastic. Right, to round it off, Ted's best bet, which is in the Japan Trophy. We didn't mention it because it's a blessed bet as well, but his best bet this weekend, this is huge. He's going for Leroy Brown, paying $14 and $4.20 the place. We've boosted top 4 out to $4, Rackman.
Yeah. It's at the 450, I think.
450. All right, boosted top 4. Leroy Brown.
Oh, no, it's $3 out to $4. Sorry, yeah, $3 out to $4.
$3 out to $4 for top 4. This thing gets to the front and just keeps on running. Ted says this is a big step up for him in the Group 2 Japan Trophy, but I feel he is worth a throw at the stumps. He's won 3 of his last 4, including a win last start over 1,600 metres and 134.54, carrying 61 kilos. He's 3 from 3 at Tauranga, means he's unbeaten. And from a good draw, he could well take some catching in this. Gets to the front, runs. I always miss this horse. Hope I don't miss it this weekend.
Righto, we better get all the best bets multi going on.
I already have. It was 250 grand.
Oh, from $10 or how
No,
much?
it was a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Tidy. I like it.
It happened last season, didn't it? It hasn't quite happened this season, but I have been doing one every week in a place in top 4 multi and a win multi, and I'm up $450. So that says something. If you do one every single week, I can guarantee that it's you're up.
How's your spreadsheet looking this?
Yeah, it's going all right, eh?
Good boy.
I'm a pretty conservative punter, as you know, though. You know,
it's
I just try and punt it on everything, but very little. So, no, it's been a good season, actually. Very much thanks to you guys. You lads are right at the top of the pecking order there. The goat's up there too. And
did you have any entries into your betting spreadsheet from your time in Vegas?
I lost. No. I've lost all that, mate.
Yeah, that was tough, wasn't it?
I gave up on punting there, eh?
I quite like this blackjack thing. I'll have a go at this.
Yeah.
Holy shit, where's my money gone?
I actually know someone in Vegas at the moment. I said, can they find that bloke Ronald on the blackjack table? What was that fucking dealer's name that kept on fleecing us?
Oh,
I think you should hit.
Bowen,
okay.
Bellin,
Oh, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, hit
Oscar,
me
was it
once.
Oscar? No.
The old boy. He was a lovely man, but for Christ's sakes, give some good advice, you know. We've already lost enough.
Yeah. Okay, hit. Oh, you bust, mate. What do you mean?
Yeah, then you
24.
ask him again and you trust him.
Yeah. It does happen. Oh, well, it's all part of it.
What did you want to mention, actually?
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions, yeah. Before we kick off, because we're not going to be back for the podcast for the rest of this season. We're all done and dusted. I think we're a little bit burnt out from a very, very big season of racing. But before we cap everything off, we've got a slot in the race. Race by Betcha, which is unbelievable. So it's N40 Racing and Boys Get Paid combined, and we've picked up Don Hugo, who just won the Miracle Mile, which is like unbelievable. So it's
absolutely killed Swayze. Put one of them in a body bag.
Leap to
fame. Yeah. Jesus. Oh, unbelievable win, Don Hugo. I watched the replay, mate. I'm all over it.
Yeah,
Big
but like
harness
good barrier draw, like we're a real live chance. How good is that? Like to be associated with a slot that has a very, very good chance of winning a $1 million race in New Zealand, I think is just, very, very cool. We're going to be doing an event down there, so we're going to be selling tickets. Tickets are probably going to go on sale next week, maybe even tomorrow, potentially. But it's basically going to be an all-inclusive package. So you turn up, all your food, all your booze, everything's included. And I don't know exactly what the ticket prices are going to be, but we're going to work that out shortly. But they're not going to be crazily expensive. And then we're also going to be running a punters club on the night as well. And the slot owner, the guy from N40 Racing, who's helping us out, he's going to start the pot off at $100K. So we're launching $100K into the pot. and that's where we'll start. And we're going to give the harness lads a crack at running the Punters Club. I think last year we broke even in the end, so everyone got their money back. We didn't make money, but we didn't lose money, so that's very good. We're going to go into this year, 10 races at Cambridge, and hopefully we'll be able to slay the bookies and get the Punters Club, get the Punters Club members paid.
Looked like a great night there last year as well. I was watching it from telly, and shit, everyone was having a very good time, so it's worth getting along to.
It's a huge crowd, you know. Like Cambridge is like it's not Auckland. But yeah, man, gee whiz, they get a lot of people along. There was like 3,000 or 4,000 people there last year. It's it's awesome.
Yeah,
Cambridge, how good. And all the details will be in the BGP app, should people want to get involved for that, mate, once you've got it all sorted.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, as soon as they're ready, we'll launch out a notification, and it'll start to go across socials as well.
Right.
Wonderful.
More to follow. But that does wrap us up. So just a few things before we do finish off for the season on the podcast. We're still going to be going with the best of BGP, I think, for a couple more weeks. And, of course, there'll be content coming out. And we may or may not be at the race over the next few weeks. Who knows? Let's just see. But to Adam, thank you very much for all your help this season, mate. It's always bloody appreciated.
Thanks, mate.
Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself.
Oh, hey, always. As long as I can find the key to the Expert Ultras, we are so in there.
Yeah, we're a bit light this week. And, of course, Joel's Juice as well. He was a fantastic campaigner this year. Hopefully he's going over well at Sydney. And, of course, to the Alternative Commentary Collective for hosting us and for having us in general. You guys are absolute legends. To everybody else that's helped us out this season some way or another, thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of our listeners that always tune in, everybody that's come to the events, everybody that's followed our bets. We couldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys, and we absolutely love doing it with you and for you. So, thank you very much. And just from me to you, lads, as always, there's been some highs and some lows, but it's been such a great season, and the highs definitely for me very much outweigh the lows, and some of those highs were probably at about 10 o'clock on a Saturday night after some of these race meetings. I had a very good time.
Good on you, mate. Yeah, it's been a big season and another big move forward for racing, which is awesome to see. And yeah, echoing your thoughts, thank you to everybody who's got involved in the comments and tipped us a winner on a Saturday, send us a message, engage with the content, come along to the events, got involved in the Punters Club. We appreciate it a lot, and it is there's a fair bit of work that goes into each of these Thursdays, and to the GOAT and to Ted as well, and to Dan, the Rackman's been doing a lot behind the scenes to make sure that we can keep all this stuff ticking over and get it in front of people as well, mate. So big shout out to you, to the Harness boys as well. They've been finding a few winners. The Harness hit started off pretty slow, but it's in good form at the moment. So that's about it from me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a bit of an off season, and then see what we get stuck into next season.
Yeah, I don't really have any much more to add. Yeah, but thank you guys for I think I've had a fucking great. It's been a long season, but there has been some highs and lows, but it's been awesome, and I am looking forward to having a bit of a break. But yeah, equally looking forward to ripping into next year again as well.
I think I forgot to thank you too, Matt, for steering the ship around all the time and keeping us trying to keep us within the hour, which we haven't been able to do today. But anyway, it was a big day of racing last Saturday. But thank you, mate. It is always appreciated.
No worries, mate. It's an absolute pleasure. I absolutely love doing it. So, yeah, there's enough thank yous there. We'll see you guys all next season.
Anyone else?
Yeah. It's like an Oscars speech, isn't it? But no, seriously, hope everybody enjoys and winters well. And, we will hopefully see you all back here again next season. Kia ora.
Game, set, and match. Shut the gate. They're going to do it again. The Kanaka Million goes with and stays with. Up in front, Delzeo, long run, but here's the cause now. He's coming. He's going to get there.